I'm now in my test chamber, Labshamba, for permaculture in Maralal, and this is my third month with growing vegetables and using irrigation, and it's now January. It's really getting hot in Maralal, but there's some green development around. So here's for you to have a look how it looks, and then you can see in the background it's really getting dry. And I have different things growing. We have the sweet potato growing in a seedbed here, and they are becoming bigger. So they are size now where they can be transplanted, although I don't have a place right now for transplanting them. And then my sugar canes are doing okay, and I've grown beans and pumpkin around them. And the beans have dried because they were ready. They were ready for harvest, and even I believe I had there were cuckoos here, so I believe they actually were eating some of the beans and the leaves and whatever. So they are dropping the leaves and making more of they're removing the shade, and I believe that's why we can see some dryness of the pumpkins here. But generally I've added some manure, and the sprouts from them are green and healthy, and we have some fruits, butternut pumpkin. So we have some hiding fruits. You can see the fruit coming up. See if we can see another one. We can see another one. This one is almost ready. So at least there's some harvest. Some leaves are yellow. Generally they are doing well and they're picking up. My comfrey here is doing really well. And other things, and even some skumawiki that I planted. They're growing many more of them. Yes. So going down, no water has come for a long time from the rain, so this is where the water from the road enters. And I had to block the entrance because of animals coming in, because now it's so dry. They really wanted to come in, and they even if there's this chain link, the small cuckoo, the small chickens, they entered, so put a chicken wire all around. But you know, I'm getting some results, and the skumawiki is growing well and healthy, and does not really care so much about the dry spell. Here you can see some skumawiki. They don't care about a very hot sun. They can survive well. And here is the biggest Espanian is now 3 meters tall. Doesn't give a lot of shade, but it's growing fast. And I can see this one can really grow fast if it has enough manure, compost, and organic material, and water, and structure of the soil. Here the structure of the soil was sandy, so probably even what makes a big difference is the hardness of the soil, and this soil is really hard in this area. So generally he is doing well and getting some other wild other things growing well. This is wild tomato. I have inside here, I have mananasi, pineapple growing. It's doing well. I've harvested a lot of beans here, so there's a lot of shade that got removed from that. And the thing that I used to mulch the area, the grass, we're completely finished. So we are now. There used to be grass here, and it has been finished. It has been broken down, and now we don't have grass around the Shamba. We've been collecting leaves from the small forest around, and I have my other things growing well. This is the moringa, and other trees are inside. Others are Spanian, 2.5 meters, almost 3, and others are coming up very, very fastly. This is a sanitoi, and this is now I planted oats for testing, and I've grown them because I want to get some seeds and see if they can do. And generally I have left banking, but other weeds I've removed them, and they're doing quite okay, although the environment is very, very harsh, very hot, and they are quite few because I didn't germinate all of them. And then I have a small cherry tomato, a very small seed. So it's a very small cherry tomatoes, and they are yellow, and they are giving fruits. There's quite many. Let's see if I can zoom in correctly. Give another branch. And I collect them when they are generally a bit not yet ripe fully, because when they are ripe fully, they are difficult to transport, and also when they ripe fully, the birds come here to eat them. But it is producing well. It's continuing to grow on this trellis with other things. Even pumpkin are growing here on the top, which are interesting, which were what I wanted. And inside are here, this is a pawpaw, passion fruit I mean. It's doing quite okay. And here is very interesting. This Espana is like almost only like a month and a half, and it's really grown very, very, very rapidly. And why I see this, here is a tomato tree, tamarillo or something like that. And where I planted this, I really was digging a lot, and I put a lot of manure and other things, and I mulched it well. And I guess, and that's my observation, it has made this thing to grow really, really, really fast. So I will be continuing to prepare the land very well, put a lot of manure where I want to plant trees, because it's the time for growing the things are not all that important if the manure is not so strong. Because you can see here, these are Espana, and they are the same age, and they are just very, very small. And this one is almost a meter tall. Yeah, but the tamarillo, the tomato tree is really healthy here, and it likes, I believe it likes a bit shaded place. So this trellis with shade is really doing some help. Even the beans are really, really healthy. So this kind of bed is really, really beneficial. I've removed the grass here and put more soil and put more manure. Then up again, I've seen some experience with the beds. So this bed here that is very thin, it's not producing very well. It's drying out quite fast. The butternut pumpkins are not so healthy here, so I can see the problem here is runoff. And I've seen even most of the place my beds are raised, but this is a very hot place, and I can see in the edges they are really dry. So I'm making the new beds with a different design, and I'm removing, and especially now the walking paths of all my beds are lower than the bed, and I believe that is something that makes the beds to be drier, and that is more beneficial to have a bed with a raised walking place. So this is the subsoil, and it will be a new, so this will be a new bed, and I've removed the topsoil and put it up, and then I put the subsoil. I've been digging subsoil and putting it down where I will be walking, and then I will be putting sticks and manure and this the topsoil back, and then the bed will not be higher than the walking path, the soil. So it's interesting. Then sunflower is really doing well, and it's really interesting because it's attracting a lot of bees that I have not seen before. That's interesting. And then this bed did not do very well with the peas and the mahindi, the maize. But now they are more healthy. I have put some more compost, some new compost, and they're doing well. And I believe also the sunflower is said to consume a lot of nutrition, so there might be a bit too many of the sunflowers, suppressing the other things growing. So I'm planting sunflower all over, but I'm planting them in a fewer number. And then my banana is really doing well. It's very green, and I've got another two seedlings here that have already. This one is really healthy, and the small one we are yet to see how it will produce, but I believe it can do well. There's something coming up, new shoots coming up, and this one have a very nice green shoot coming. So those things are doing well. And this my potatoes, and they are almost getting ready. They have been flowering and they have been giving seeds. Then on the other bed I have planted now a lot of cabbages, and I'm letting a lot of banki to grow, and to see if they can protect them, because there's some other insect on my cabbages down, and it's quite green. I'm watering like every second day. Yeah, and these ones are very interesting. These are popcorns, and they have grown big, and they have started to give a shoot, and to give. These are now the flower, and this is now the baby, the corn itself. The maize itself, and they're doing well here, and I planted them together with a lot of different beans, and I see it is doing well. They are really healthy together. There are even potatoes here, and I see the potatoes are growing well together with the with the maize and the beans. So it's something that I will likely to copy. There's another potato, I don't know if you can see it in the shade. And even in the middle here, this potato, the maize and the other things makes the potato to grow really tall, and it's protected from the wind, while this potato have fallen to the sides because of its high, because of being heavy. And I'm continuing to making more beds, putting sunflower and peas and beans, and I've planted some indigenous, planted some maize first, but the seeds were not all that good, so now planted new ones, and the one that will come up will be indigenous, more indigenous species. Then down, it's really hot now, so I'm putting a lot of effort in finding mulching and improving the trellises for shade. Here is the mid swale, and it is healthy. It's really green, and I planted a lot of beans here, and the beans are really healthy and doing well. They like the hot weather, and they also like the shade, so the combination is really nice. And inside are other things growing. It makes the place to be really green, beautiful. And yeah, I can see the beans are really useful here, and very tasty to eat them fresh when they are still green, or they haven't dried in the pods. They only take like 20 minutes to cook, and they are more like, they are in the way they taste is more like peas than beans. Very tasty, very interesting. So I'm improving the shade. I'm putting some, we're collecting some more leaves of sanitary, fresh leaves that will dry up, and after some time they will fall down and build more mulching here. And even I have a lot of mulching, as you see. The other things growing here is carrots and all kinds of things. This is Dania, it's starting to flower and give seeds, and very interesting things. Then here I got very good experience with the bed, and making a lot of effort before planting, because this bed I only was digging a little bit, and I was only putting manure inside. I didn't put any ulkarasi, I didn't put any cactus or any sticks or any sisal or anything. And this one is very different than the down one. So the down one is really healthy. Here I did a lot of effort. I was digging more, and I was putting cactus inside with the manure down deep in the soil, and this place is really healthy. Although I was planting this one later than the other bed up, but it's really healthy, and it really is healthy together with so many things are growing together. Here you can see the flowering coriander, and there's a lot of tomatoes here, and inside are other things. These are parsleys, and this is not parsley, it is radish, and this is a radish that is actually flowering very fast, and it's giving me seeds, which is very good. And I believe this radish is helping, especially in the root area, to remove some unwanted insects. So going back to the upper bed with this I planted the same species, but they're not doing as well, and I do blame them. I do see the reason to be mostly mostly the soil, but also maybe I don't have as much water pipes here. But tomatoes are coming up, and they are not all that bad off, and they are some are a bit dry now because the sun is so hot, and I'm getting tomatoes. They're producing quite well, and I guess within 2 weeks time I will be harvesting my first tomatoes. Other things that are growing well here is this one. This is I don't know, pigeon pea or something like that. It grows like a tree. And then I have my sespan growing up here. Then inside here somewhere, I can't maybe find it now, but inside, we'll see it when they are bigger. Inside there's some pawpaw growing from seeds, and they're growing well now. When I planted pawpaw seeds that were fresh, before I planted pawpaw seeds that were old and they didn't germinate. Okay, and then we have the other bed. The experiences that I get here is the skumawiki is doing well in the sun, but it seems the spinaches are not really happy in the sun, but they're extremely healthy in the shade. So I'll be changing. I'll be planting the spinaches in the shade together with even beetroots. I see it's doing really well in the shade. Yeah, and this here again, coriander that is flowering, and then we have banki that's I put here so that they can repel some insects, and maybe they have that effect a bit. And I'm letting them to grow, and they create some shade, which is not all that bad. So I'm harvesting now both spinach and skumawiki that I'm eating together with the maize meal, the garlic. And then the cabbages now are doing well. You can see they're starting to give babies, and they're quite big size, and some are healthy. Even the pawpaws are healthy, and the moringas here are really healthy. So they're doing quite well. Then some of my cabbages are infected, and they're affected by these insects. And I tried to spray now. I made a liquid from the entulele, and I sprayed, and it seems it does not really kill them. If it has killed, it has only killed few of them, but I don't see that they have killed them. So I'll have to check for another alternative. Maybe I'll use pili-pili and other things, but I'll be using organic ways of spraying, and I will be spraying because otherwise they will create some problems. Alright, this is another pawpaw, and that's been here for around 2 months. This one is big compared to the others. They were the same size, but generally the pawpaws are really healthy here. And again we have another bed with a shaded trellis, and I'm making it to be a bed and planting some beans and other things, and it's healthy. It's another sanitized species which is doing well. Yeah, generally it is green, and I just put a lot of effort now to try to make things to survive, and then I'll be focusing now on in the shade to plant beans and peas and spinach and beetroot and carrot and dania, and I wish to plant them. I will just spread them out. Even some pumpkins can grow. They create good shade, and they can grow and take space on top of this trellis. So the beetroots are really healthy in the shade, really healthy. Even the carrots are not bad off. So my first bed for seed bed is this one. I've transplanted a lot of things, but I also kept a few, and they are doing quite okay. This is wiki, and there's some tomatoes growing here, and the coriander, I've let them to grow many here, and it's now giving seeds, which is important. Coriander is a very, very important coriander actually is the most important plant I have, because it will give me cash very fast. I can harvest it in even 3 weeks, and it gives a very high amount of money for a small amount of coriander, or it's called something else when it's the leaves, but anyway. Then I have another seed bed for trees, and okay. Here I can show you the papaya. Some of them are drying up, but here is a papaya from the seeds. And some other trees, the onions here, and it's come a weekly, so. And I've been very successful with mixing this manure with the cactus. It has made a very, very good compost, and even it has been good to put even the sawdust. So I've added another one, and this one has been ready. I've been using it in the farm, and this one is still under process. So I've not yet I have not yet put any nylon plastic inside the dam, and I've not yet started to use it, but I'm tempted to do so. This one is storing quite some amount of water, and it's quite expensive to buy the same amount of size of a drum. And I've increased and put even more of the sugar canes, and this one has germinated already, and I'm growing it with watermelon and pumpkins and some other things. These are wild I'll give you the name later. And I've been mulching here and putting manure, and I'm now doing health well and continuing. There's some watermelon growing healthy in the hot sun. So here I just filled with some water with a pipe, and also the pumpkin here is very, very healthy. So that's what I want to grow together with these sugar canes. This watermelon is even here, it's okay. It's starting to give fruits. It's now a bit demanding, both water and nutrition. Even other watermelons are growing well. Here you can see Shamba that we planted. You can see Milan and Elijah relaxing in the shade. It's hard to work this time of the day. Yeah, and then I have some more development coming up on this side. I've seen, instead of just planting a tree in the soil. This soil is so very hard, especially. It's good to dig, and I'll be placing woody material and then manure, and then soil where the cactus grew, because that soil is very nutritious. And then I will be planting my trees. So I'm planting trees here without any vegetables. They will be growing with the watermelon and butternut pumpkins. This is another bed that I created for shade and growing different things inside, beans and different vegetables and trees and other things. And then more trees to be planted. And here's a seedbed for just bringing up the trees from seed to be transplanted. More trees to be planted, and no bees in the beehives, but now I do expect next season that bees will come. Maybe I'll just have one beehive here, but I already see bees in the Shamba because of the sunflower, and there will be more and more sunflower and other flowers. You can see all kinds of flowers here. This is an indigenous species that grow, and it gives flowers fast and quite good environment fast. The mulberry tree, very healthy now. Really likes this place. And this is another species of cherry tomato that I brought from the neighbor's Shamba, and they're starting to give fruits now. So there are development coming up. More trees to be planted. So here the new soil and manure and other things have been put, leaving the old soil to catch the water when it rains. And the drip irrigation is really beneficial, but the tank is too small, so I'll find a way to make a difference. Buy another one. It's a bit pricey. And then here are more trees planted. So here I will not grow vegetables, but just trees and watermelon and from the same spot will be trees and watermelon and the pumpkin. So you can see the whole Shamba. It is still green, it's very green, but when we look outside, this is how it looks now in the area. It's really dry, and it's becoming worse and worse. But as I improve the shade, I improve the fertility through the compost, and I put more leaves for mulching, I get actually a more stable and more green Shamba, and I expect it to improve more and more with time, as is the idea of permaculture. Hope you learned something new. Talk to you next time.